stocks, and let's get back into the Tesla story with Jenny Horne, host of Next Gen Investing. Mr. Musk is in China. Is that right?
Apparently, this was a surprise. According to these reports, though, we've gotten now from the surprise visit, it seems to be paying almost immediate dividends as he is getting rewarded. I mean, we're seeing in pre-market this morning, but for his efforts, he did receive this official approval from Beijing for their advanced driver assistance features in their cars, according to the Wall Street Journal. And it's a pretty big deal. And again, something that we've been waiting for. I was reading the commentary out of Wedbush's Dan Ives this morning that has long been a huge fan of FSD and said this is a watershed moment for Tesla's valuation, as so much of its value right now hinges on FSD and autonomy, as well as the robo-taxi rollout in August. But the key missing piece of the puzzle, in his opinion, was everything in China, which now appears to be on this doorstep. The Chinese government did tell Tesla they've tentatively approved these plans for FSD features. And we also know that they also have a major partnership now with Baidu. So they're going to use the navigation and mapping function provided by Baidu within their FSD in that region. But Tesla is a massive player in China, but still seen as one that could stand to improve its overall market share. It's its second largest overseas market, and I think one that has been seen as somewhat of a disappointment for quite some time. It's not just actually related to the EVs. It's been disappointing for any company that is in tech that has exposure to China, but I think we so long talk about the lack of catalysts. There's been a lack of catalysts in Apple this year. There's been a lack of catalysts in Tesla. This is at least some advancement that's showing, hey, Tesla is right now trying to continue to excite those bulls that have been waiting for this FSD moment.
I think it's a pretty big deal.
I do too.
Because think about how many negative China-centric headlines had kind of beat this stock and others over the last 6 months, especially when you look at it compared to Apple as an underperformer in the mega cap world. Those two companies share a lot in their edging out of the Chinese market with Apple competitors and Tesla competitors. To see some good news actually come out of the region, and also maybe a little regulatory embrace there. While this is such a big deal, their autopilot and self-driving stuff, it seems like a nice little check in the winner's box for Tesla, one we haven't had in a while.
I also think that it signals, perhaps, if you were arguing that Tesla's a car, right, and they're losing demand, there's not right now enough demand to go around, and that's why we're seeing such a weakness in its deliveries. You could say that this is a completely different vein of their business, because this has nothing to do with vehicle demand. This has to do with them marketing just their software, which I think is huge, to look at just outside of strictly vehicles produced and delivered.
Well, I think that we've learned pretty well over the last year, that year and a half really, that when push comes to shove, it trades as a car stock. But when in need, the Tesla as a tech story is really what drives that kind of potential for frothy valuation. So, all right, we get some follow through. I mean, back above 170-ish or so after the hit going into earnings. I mean, not bad here as we've kind of turned things around.
It was about time, and I think this is at least a step in the right direction, because all we've heard out of China so far has been more and more regulation, more and more pushing out these U.S. companies. Now that they're welcoming this technology of Tesla, signals that, hey, they have a good, like you said, good relationship with Tesla is a huge step.
Yeah, and the market's not moving a ton, so to see Tesla up kind of notably here, following through, because the post-earnings pop needs follow-through. And, looks like maybe we're getting it. So
can we hold is the question.
Yeah.
How long this holds is my question.
All right. So a decent little start for Tesla. Thanks, Jenny.